Are you trapped in the exhausting cycle of comparing yourself to others, scrolling through perfect lives on social media, feeling inadequate no matter what you achieve because someone always seems to have more, do more, be more? Imagine discovering that the prison of comparison has been stealing your joy, your peace, your ability to see your own unique beauty, and that freedom is waiting on the other side of letting go. This story reveals how one woman's obsession with measuring herself against others nearly destroyed her, and how the moment she stopped comparing, peace she had forgotten existed, flooded back into her life. If comparison is stealing your joy, please like and share this with someone drowning in the same struggle. Subscribe to The Wisdom Tales for stories that free you from the chains of constant comparison. Once upon a time, in a modern city where appearances mattered more than anything else, and success was measured in likes and followers, there lived a woman named Isabella. She was 31 years old, beautiful, educated, and from the outside, living a good life. But inside, Isabella was slowly dying. She spent every waking moment comparing herself to others. When she woke up, the first thing she did was grab her phone and scroll through social media. Perfect bodies, perfect vacations, perfect relationships, perfect careers, perfect lives. And with every image she saw, Isabella felt smaller, uglier, less successful, less worthy. At work, she compared herself to her colleague who got promoted. At the gym, she compared herself to the woman with the flat stomach. At family gatherings, she compared herself to her cousin who had the perfect marriage. Even alone at home, she compared her apartment to the beautiful houses she saw online. No matter what Isabella achieved, it was never enough. She got a raise, someone else got a bigger one. She lost weight, someone else looked better. She traveled somewhere beautiful, someone else went somewhere more exotic. The comparison never ended, and it was killing her. Isabella couldn't enjoy a single moment of her own life because she was too busy looking at everyone else's. She felt like she was running a race with no finish line, constantly exhausted, constantly failing, constantly falling short. One evening, after scrolling through photos of her old classmate's engagement, a massive diamond ring, a beach proposal, thousands of congratulatory comments, Isabella broke down. She threw her phone across the room and sobbed uncontrollably. Why is everyone else's life so perfect? Why am I always the one left behind? What's wrong with me? She cried until she had no tears left. Then, exhausted and hollow, she decided to take a walk. She needed air. She needed to escape herself. Isabella walked for hours through the quiet streets until she found herself in a part of the city she'd never been to before. There, tucked between tall buildings, was a small, humble art gallery. The lights were on, and through the window she could see paintings on the walls. Without knowing why, Isabella walked inside. The gallery was empty except for an elderly woman standing in front of a large canvas. She had gray hair pulled into a loose bun, paint-stained hands, and eyes that seemed to see right through the surface of things. She turned when Isabella entered and smiled warmly. "Welcome, dear. Please look around." Isabella walked slowly through the gallery. Each painting was completely different from the next. Some were bold and colorful. Others were soft and muted. Some were abstract. Others were realistic. No two were alike. Isabella stopped in front of a painting of a single wildflower growing between cracks in concrete. It was simple, imperfect, but somehow it was beautiful. "Do you like that one?" the old woman asked, walking over. Isabella nodded, tears unexpectedly filling her eyes. "Yes, but I don't know why." The old woman smiled. "Because it reminds you of something true, something you've forgotten." Isabella looked at her, confused. "What do you mean?" The old woman gestured to all the paintings around them. "Look at these. Every single one is different. Every single one is unique. If I had tried to make them all look the same, this gallery would be boring, empty, meaningless. But Because each one is different, each one has its own beauty, its own story, its own worth. Isabella's voice cracked. But what if one painting is better than the others? The old woman shook her head gently. Better according to whom? You see, that is the trap. When you start comparing, you are asking the wrong question. You are asking, which is better? But the real question is, what is this meant to be? A rose is not better than a lily. A mountain is not better than an ocean. They are simply different, and their difference is their gift. Isabella felt something break open inside her. Tears streamed down her face, but I can't help it. Everywhere I look, I see people who are more successful, more beautiful, more loved than I am. How do I stop comparing? The old woman took Isabella's hand gently. Let me tell you a story. Many years ago, I was just like you. I was a young artist, desperate to be the best. I looked at other artists and felt worthless. Their paintings were better, their galleries were bigger, their names were more famous. I spent so much time comparing myself that I stopped creating. I stopped painting. Because what was the point if I could never be as good as them? Isabella listened, her heart aching. But then one day, the old woman continued, my teacher said something that changed my life. He said, you are trying to be someone else's masterpiece, but you are meant to be your own. He told me, stop looking at their canvas. Look at yours. What is your story? What is your vision? What can only you create? The old woman's eyes glistened with emotion. And when I finally stopped comparing and started creating from my own heart, everything changed. My art became real, authentic, unique, and people loved it not because it was better than someone else's, but because it was mine. Isabella sobbed openly now. But how do I stop? How do I stop looking at what everyone else has? The old woman smiled with infinite compassion. You remember that their journey is not yours, their timeline is not yours, their blessings are not yours. You are not meant to live their life, you are meant to live yours. And the moment you stop comparing, the moment you turn your eyes back to your own path, peace will find you. Because peace does not exist in comparison, it exists in acceptance. Isabella stood there, trembling, feeling years of pressure and inadequacy begin to lift. So I just accept myself as I am? Yes, the old woman said softly. Accept that you are exactly where you need to be. Accept that your journey is unfolding at the perfect pace. Accept that you are not in competition with anyone. The only person you need to be better than is who you were yesterday. That is all. Isabella left the gallery that night with a heart that felt lighter than it had in years. She went home, picked up her phone, and did something radical. She deleted every social media app, not forever, but for now. She needed space to remember who she was without the constant noise of comparison. Days turned into weeks. Isabella stopped measuring her life against others. When the urge to compare arose, she gently reminded herself, their path is not mine, their blessings are not mine. I am on my own journey. And slowly, something beautiful happened. Isabella began to see her own life clearly for the first time. She noticed the small joys she had overlooked, the kindness of a friend, the warmth of morning sunlight, the satisfaction of her own work. She started appreciating what she had instead of mourning what she didn't. Peace didn't arrive all at once, but it came, quietly, gently, like dawn breaking after a long, dark night. Months later, Isabella returned to the gallery. The old woman was there, painting a new canvas. Isabella smiled and said, "Thank you. You saved my life." The old woman smiled back. "No, dear, you saved your own. You chose to stop comparing, and in that choice you found yourself." Friends, comparison is the thief of joy. It will steal your peace, your gratitude, your ability to see your own worth. Stop measuring your chapter 1 against someone else's chapter 20. Stop looking at their highlight reel and comparing it to your behind the scenes. Your journey is yours alone. Honor it, embrace it, and when you finally stop comparing, you will discover that peace has been waiting for you all along.